I think we need to cut that from the podcast, Ryan.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. We'll cut that out. Hey everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steve, and this is 60 Cycle Hum the Guitar, buying, selling, trading, fixing, modding, breaking, playing, reviewing, something or other podcast.
Intro scrambling podcast.
There we go. How's it going this first
this came from Ian McAlpine.
Ian McAlpine. I wonder if he's related to Lizzie McAlpine.
Who's that?
Lizzie McAlpine is a musician, is a singer-songwriter.
Not familiar with her.
Who works with Mason Stoops.
Oh, okay. All right.
Maybe Mason Stoops works with her.
They work with each other.
They work with each other. She's great. I think also Jesse from 29 Pedals was like her like tour manager, tour tech.
We're getting the whole story.
He was doing something on tour with them too. So it was really fun to watch because I follow her, Mason, and 29 Pedals and Jesse all on Instagram, and it was fun to see the reels from all of them.
Yeah.
Like how they like all tied together. I felt like I was there, but I wasn't. I was here podcasting.
Steve was there. We all wish we could have been there. We all should have been there to know what the heck he's talking about.
This first ad is a travel acoustic guitar. It's a Yamaha FG 412S in Mandurah, Western Australia. So probably not related to.
You might be thinking, oh, the Yamaha FG 412S. I know that model. We all know that model. That's not a travel guitar. That's just your standard run-of-the-mill Dreadnought acoustic. Wrong. It's been modified because every other travel guitar has been modified from some other guitar, and this one is a doozy.
That's right, Ryan. This was cut in half and made into a travel guitar. That's correct, not a typo. I cut this guitar in half so I could fit it inside a suitcase or backpack when traveling on a plane. I'd rather chop up a guitar in half than trust a disgruntled baggage handler. I wanted a travel guitar that was full size rather than half size. It works fine. The two halves clip together easily with suitcase clips, and the sound is exactly the same as before I beheaded it. This is a cheap option if you want to travel with a full-sized solid top guitar, which of course we all want to travel with a full size.
Steve.
That was a hiccup. Solid top guitar.
That was a juicy hiccup. I can smell that hiccup.
Oh, it tastes delicious.
Oh my gosh. This is over the top. What? Every time that we cover a travel guitar modification, it's just the most bonkers thing. And like I've stopped like grabbing them most of the times when people send them, but I had to do this one because there's just, I wouldn't have even imagined this as an option. It's so stupid.
I want a picture of this thing in like full storage mode. Like it's almost there.
Yeah, like, is there a case for this? Because if there is not a case for this, this is in no way more convenient than just carrying around a full-size acoustic guitar with you.
It's supposed to just like fit into your backpack next to your knickers.
No way. No way.
Next to your socks.
This doesn't fit in anything.
Or not a backpack, in your suitcase, in your luggage.
Also, like, I get wanting to have the real experience of a real guitar. Like, you don't want to compromise and go for like one of the little like Martin backpackers or something like that. Or a traveler guitar that you plug in headphones or whatever, and maybe you have an acoustic simulator or whatever. Like, or like even like those Yamaha makes them. This is a Yamaha, right?
Yes. Yamaha makes like the silent guitar.
Yamaha makes the silent guitars that have the wings that come off, and those get really compact. You've taken an acoustic guitar, and what's functionally the most important part of an acoustic guitar, as far as its sound goes? Is it the soundboard, the top part of the guitar, where all the sound is produced by the vibration of the strings moving that soundboard around?
Mm-hmm.
You cut it in half.
Yeah.
You separated it from itself.
You've lost that whatever resonance is. You're definitely gonna like, you're gonna have like,
it would have been better for him to cut off the butt end of this, it would have probably sounded better. Like,
I don't know. It's gonna make it. Wouldn't it make it thin? Like, you still have the full.
I can't imagine
the full echo chamber, if you will. That acoustic chamber. You're just not gonna get that sweet like top vibration, that in syncopation. This actually is what.
You're just throwing out techno babble.
I don't know why I said.
Why did you say syncopation?
I meant like in sync, in like synchronous.
Are you about to tell me why we can't go to warp? Like, what's going on engineering?
The
reverse syncopation stabilizer is out of whack.
What was it they had on Voyager? The bioneural
right
whatever. Like the computer was a gel. No, I was saying like the top is not gonna like vibrate as a single piece. It's not gonna be. I meant it was not gonna be like synchronous.
Right. And if anything, I mean, maybe this adds to the allure of this guitar. Those suitcase latches on the sides and the back, those are gonna rattle like a snare drum when you're playing this thing.
Those are tone latches. They're made out of brass. Interestingly, I was listening to Phil McKnight talk about travel guitars, and he was saying how when he had a shop, travel guitars, the Martin backpackers would the tops would crack a lot.
Oh, really?
Because they were so like stiff and rigid, they were like really prone to drying out or to crack damage, and like because they wouldn't flex at all. And that's how they get them as loud as they could be. So yeah, sawing the guitar in half like this is kind of like, yeah, you've made it smaller, but you're not actually achieving like kind of what you want, unless all you want is having a full scale, full body guitar and you don't actually care how it sounds, which, I mean, for what it's worth, Yamaha FG412, if that's the guitar that you own, you probably don't. This is the spruce top, though.
I think
Maybe
he just
you do care.
I think he just took whatever like affordable acoustic he could find and cut it in half with a bandsaw, and then tried to latch it together with suitcase latches, which is utterly ridiculous. I have a really hard time believing that this thing is structurally sound when you clamp it together. There's so much like tension underneath those strings, pulling that whole neck forward towards the bridge. And I don't believe that, is it 4 clamps? I think there's 2 on the back.
2 on the back, which again, this picture set is very frustrating because it doesn't have pictures at all the angles. There is this shot here where you see the neck. When you put the 2 bodies together, you detune the guitar, and then you take the top body of the body and the neck, and you like this is the saucer separation.
Oh my gosh,
that comes back, but then now the saucer is going to come back and mount in reverse and go into the drive. The saucer is going to go into the drive section in reverse. And now the neck is coming out the other side. This is also
a Star Trek reference for everyone who doesn't watch Star Trek.
The neck is going to come out the other side. I want a picture of that, because is there just a permanent open hole in the bottom of this guitar all the time for the neck to go through?
Yes. Like he shoves the neck down into the other part of the body to make this thing compact enough to travel with, but there's no case implied. He's just walking around the airport. If TSA sees this guy coming and they let him get on a flight with this thing, we already know it's security theater, but come on, the whole thing's a sham.
Well, he's in Australia, so there's no TSA.
All right.
Here's my thought about this, Ryan. This is like a
where's he flying to and from, though? He's got to get back.
Well, maybe he's just taking on the bus. This is just like the saucer separation scene, where when you look at it, and even if you think it's neat, you're going to do it 1 or 2 times, and then you're probably not going to use it again for like 3 or 4 seasons.
It's just really hard to get them back together. Like every single little connection has to line up, and like it scares cetacean ops. They don't like it when you do that. How many Star Trek deep cuts are we going to work?
Hopefully all of them.
First ad of the episode.
This is how much do they want? This is in dollary dues.
More like dollary don'ts. I say no thank you to this one.
I think 180 is actually really cheap.
That's expensive firewood. I don't think it's there. I don't think anyone should buy this. This should just go down in history as a mistake that shouldn't be repeated.
This is $112 in US dollars.
It should be
Still
$5.
too much?
It should
Still
be $5. It should be,
Yeah.
are you interested in this? I made a mistake. Maybe you would like to carry on the tradition of my mistake because I don't want to look at it anymore. Let's exchange an amount of money that makes it clear that we have made an agreement that you are now the owner of this. That's the deal here.
Here's a thought that I have to make this palatable.
Are they really that hard up for guitars down under that this thing has value?
No, I can't imagine. I can't imagine they can't get just like a
Australia.
Ed Sheeran LX1.
Are you
whatever.
okay? Are you okay down there? Do you need us to send more guitars? Are there not enough?
They do have. I mean, guitars are way more expensive there than they are
I know.
here.
Listen, if there's like an Australian guitar shop down there and they want to sponsor my flight down, I'll bring as many guitars as I can carry on the flight, however many they let me bring. I'll even bring a real travel guitar that can fold up and go into a suitcase. You need more guitars in your country? Just import me. I'll carry them on the plane.
You're gonna bring him a Ciari or whatever.
Right? I don't know.
Chiari? Is it Chiari?
Hey, maybe Ciari wants to sponsor
Yeah.
that trip. Like, hey, I am bringing guitars to the nation of Australia. They need them. They have it short. They're passing around acoustic guitars that have been sliced in half.
Right.
Clearly,
right.
they are a country in distress.
Yeah.
Send me to help them. Ciari guitars.
The biggest issue with this travel guitar is, unlike the Enterprise D, when it separates, neither section is functional in any sense.
Just like Enterprise D's nuts.
Wow. Okay.
Let's move on.
So this episode is brought to you by Stringjoy.
Okay, we're going into sponsorship.
It's the next thing on the list. You gotta respect the order.
You have
of
to
things.
respect the list. Steve worked hard on the list.
Yeah, I wrote it down and everything.
Yeah, Stringjoy, Steve.
They make teeth. They make strings out of that are coated in human baby teeth. That's their orbiters. They're fantastic. I have them. And in fact, from my Premier Guitar Mystery Stocking, I received a pack of SIT strings. And and like I said in my video, I play Stringjoy. So these strings, I don't want to throw them away because that's wasteful, but I will find someone who to pass them along to.
And I will say really quickly, congratulations to my son. He lost a tooth today.
And you're sending it to Stringjoy.
I am sending it to Stringjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying there's a chance that you will receive a pack of orbiters from Stringjoy. If you order them, you have to buy them. There's a chance that your next set might have a little bit of my son's enamel dust on those strings.
I'm
So
sure.
keep an eye out. Like, I think this might be Henry's enamel on this string.
I'm sure if you requested it, Scott could take that and make and use and coat some strings for you.
Yeah. Do you have? If you've got kids, a lot of our viewers have kids. They're the same age as us. They're in that window of parenthood. If your kids are losing teeth, don't save them in a baby book. What good are they? Send them to Stringjoy. Have them grind them up into a powder and coat a set of orbiters. Then put that set of strings on a guitar and give it to your kid and be like, hey, guess what? These strings, they're made out of your teeth. Huge thanks to Stringjoy for continuing to sponsor this nonsense.
Yeah, this episode's also brought to you by Chase Bliss.
That's right, Steve.
Like a month ago, Chase Bliss ran a mystery box.
Oh, here we go. Steve got his. I haven't gotten mine
I got
yet.
mine already. Here it is. It's very lightweight.
It's big.
It is. They're all the same size, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, this feels like one pedal. And maybe a pin.
And maybe a pin.
Let's find out.
If there's a cutaway right here, where just the episode, like this part ends, and there's a different sponsorship.
It's because Steve cut me with a knife.
Yeah.
No, we've agreed that if Steve or I get the golden pin, we're not going to let anyone know. We're going to keep that a big secret. And we're going to return it because that would be ridiculous for industry folks like ourselves.
All right. I've got I drive like my gas pedal is a wah-wah bumper sticker. That's cool.
That's a terrible way to drive.
I got a Chase Bliss Motel.
Oh, those are cool.
Keychain. It says Chase Bliss Mystery Club on it.
I can't wait to get mine.
This is terrifying me now.
Where do you get these printed? I love this.
Let's see. I'm taking out all the wrapping first.
The suspense, Steve. You're killing us.
Oh, that's sick.
What'd you get?
It's the Billy Strings
you
womb
got the
tone.
womb tone.
It's the new one. The
Yeah.
signature Billy Strings womb tone.
The tone of the
Analog
womb.
envelope phaser.
Envelope phaser. And there's no pen in there? Rats.
No pin for me.
That's cool, man.
No pin for me. Let's take, wow. And of course, another Chase Bliss sticker.
Well, you don't have to unbox the whole thing. People get
the
the
field
point.
guide.
Steve got a pedal. Look at that.
It's
I wonder
there.
what I'm going
You
to
see
get.
it? It's a real pedal. You're going to get the golden pin. I feel it. I feel it. One of us is going to get it.
If I get the golden pen, it's a major failure, and I will return it. I will return it to Chase Bliss and say, don't pick. Like, randomly assign it to someone else, you know?
So thanks, Chase Bliss. I like I said in my video, I'm like addicted to these gear mystery things. But this was a really fun one. Obviously, all this stuff
Even I
definitely
did it.
adds up to
I'm not
the
a
value of the thing.
I'm not a gambler like Steve, and even I did it.
Yeah,
It's because I love
this
Chase
one,
Bliss.
This one's not a gamble. Like,
It's not.
You're going to get a good pedal.
It's not. You're going to get a good pedal, and if you don't like it, you can sell it and buy the pedal that you want. It's fun. You're getting your value out of it. I'm pitching it like you guys can do it. You can't. Window's closed.
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
next year if they ever decide to do it again. Who
Maybe
knows?
some year in the future, in the not so distant future, or in the much distant future.
All right.
Who can say? If you want to check out their other pedals, though, go to chasebliss.com. And if you buy something, let them know that we sent you by leaving them I think you can leave a comment when you check out. All right. Ryan.
Yes, Steve.
You picked this topic.
Oh, we're doing the topic. Oh, that's right. We do the topic second now. It's been 2.5 weeks since we recorded, and I just pulled my head out of Christmas gear like
On
3 hours ago. I'm like,
on
all right, now I'm working again.
On December 18th, you said so many guitarists take themselves way too seriously.
And yeah, I said that on Threads and got plenty of replies and likes and stuff like that. I realize that a lot of our personal experience in that direction is just people in the comments section who just like are insufferable and just like, well, actually, did you know blah 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 blah, and so and this band said this about this guitar, and so that, like, there are people who take every aspect of this so seriously, like they are writing a history book that's going to get turned into a movie at some point.
Yeah.
And I think my stance on it is just like, this is silly. This is goofy. Like, guitar's supposed to be fun. Yeah, you can make serious art with it, but you should be having fun along the way. What do you think, Steve? Like, what's your take on this topic?
I think that there are a lot of people who definitely, maybe on accident, I don't know. Like, I don't know that they intentionally set out to do this, and this will make sense in a moment.
Sure.
What I'm building up to. But I think they accidentally turn music into sport.
Oh, sure.
And like I said, I don't know that they do it on purpose.
Or they turn it into politics, or they turn it into religion.
Yeah. And not even a religion, like in a like existing religion thing, but in like a personalized, like,
Right.
Oh, like how many times have we gotten a comment that's like, I can't believe you guys don't know who guitarist
so and
like,
so is.
You guys have done 500 plus episodes and you've never listened to, I don't know, like
the preeminent Stratocaster player of all time. Like, I've never heard that name before, dude. And you're like,
you've never heard of Jeff Beck? No, I saw I know the comment you're talking
but
about.
it wasn't Jeff Beck. It was someone whose name
It
can't even remember.
It was the guy. Yeah.
Don't try to remember, because then people will judge us.
I know. But it's like when you get those kind of comments that because you're a guitar player or because you have a guitar show,
right,
that you owe it to the history annals to go and listen to everything that has ever existed. And the reality for me is that and this is for me, and you and we listen to music differently. Like I actually
I listen with my butt.
I know.
I sit on headphones and listen through my butt. Steve listens with his ears. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get the appeal.
Like I had my Floyd phase a couple of years ago, like 2-3 years ago.
Pink Floyd phase?
Pink Floyd phase, where I just like listened to at least all of their 70s stuff and I think a couple of their 80s albums.
All right.
Just all the way through, just to hear it all and see what I liked, see what I didn't like. And there's a lot of artists like that where like I didn't grow up in a musical family, and particularly like I listened to like 90s country music and whatever. But there's this expectation almost that oh well, you were a guitarist probably because you know your dad was playing Hendrix records at home.
Right.
Here's what I'll say: my dad hated Jimi Hendrix. He thought that Hendrix's Star Spangled Banner was like shameful to distort the national anthem. You know, he's one of those like traditional American patriot types. So like. And again, like as a country and Western listener, like we weren't listening to Jimi Hendrix at home. I didn't know who that was.
My dad, like he grew up around all that music and he listened to plenty of it. He listened to classic rock radio all the time and all that music when it came out. But also like when he discovered LimeWire or whatever in the 90s, he was playing some song on his laptop and he's like, "Oh, this is a great Jimi Hendrix song." I'm like, "Dad, that's SRV."
Right. So I think there's this idea that people have that, and also like we've had this conversation before. Who was like the 2 or 3 artists that you would say like, these are the first artists I listened to when I started being interested in music, being interested in playing guitar?
I mean, I was a teenager. I was 13 years old and I was listening to alternative radio because that's what all my friends were listening to. And I liked it. But maybe I liked it because that's what it was. But it's like, I learned to play guitar to Green Day and Nirvana and The Offspring.
Right.
Like, that's the reality.
Right. So there's this idea, I think, in some circles that, like, it's requisite on you to take the time at some point in your musical journey to go back.
To live every, like, previous generation's teenage years.
And I can say, like, for me, it's kind of the same. Like, I think the 3 artists, actually, if I were to name... like the 3 artists I was listening to that I was like, oh, I want to play guitar, even though I don't really know that I can play any of the songs from these artists. But just conceptually is like Garth Brooks, MXPX, and 5 Iron Frenzy.
Sure.
I'm like,
that's a grab bag.
I'm not going to take those 3 artists and end up at the Beach Boys or the Beatles. But somehow it's like, oh, you own a guitar and you've never tried to learn, Obi Da or whatever. Like, I don't know. I don't care.
Right. We all grew up when we grew up. Here's a way to sidestep this topic a little bit.
Hold on. I'm taking guitar seriously, very seriously.
Okay. So we agree there's a wide variety of facets of guitar and musicianship and the culture of guitar and the history of guitar that you can take it as seriously as you want, but it's ridiculous to expect other people to take it seriously. What should be taken seriously? What are the few things that we should take seriously in guitar?
Rickenbackers?
Rickenbackers, for sure. And Rickenbackers. No, definitely the pronunciation of Rickenbacker.
What are things we should take seriously? I
think everything can be a joke and everything can be lighthearted. I think the only thing that you should be taking seriously is like if you're trying to make a living at it, like your business stuff, your business details.
Sure.
Like your reputation as an artist, your business relationships and stuff like that. But the playing of guitar, like your approach to guitar, what you think about individual models of guitar or amp or whatever, like it's called playing guitar. You're supposed to be playing.
I think
have fun with it. Explore. It's an art. It's an art form. Get creative and weird and do things that are uncomfortable and try things that you've never heard of before just to try them. Try running pedals backwards just to see what happens. Like what happens if you run a reverb into fuzz? Like
that kind of back. Yeah, I was like if you plug in the output and input backwards, I don't think anything's going to happen.
Certain things happen.
Some things do happen.
I know that there's Steve. Don't you know that Eric Clapton plugged in his Crybaby backwards to get that certain sound? I don't know if it's
that feels
Clapton,
true,
but there was someone who he might have actually been a Pink Floyd thing. I think it might be a Gilmore thing.
Oh, okay.
He plugged in a Crybaby backwards and it made like a weird seagull sound or whatever. There are like try stuff, get weird, break things, like break the rules. Like don't ignore the rules. Learn all of the theory and then do everything you can to disprove it. I don't know, like
sure. I think the level of seriousness.
But get your money. You know, march up to the venue manager's door, pound on that door. Where's my money? Kick on the door, pound it. Wait for him in the parking lot. Take that part seriously.
I think people should take music as seriously as they need to achieve whatever their goals are, with the caveat that you can't expect anyone else to take it as serious as you want to take it. And so then the key for you is either to find like-minded individuals to fill out your band because you all want the same goals, or to fill out your production or whatever if you just want to do remote things, or just like figure out how to be chill and live with it. Like I think it's super fine. Here's a thing I've learned.
I'd say that people can take their own music as seriously as they want, their own musical experience, their own, like if they have heroes and they want to take that seriously, fine. But the moment you look at someone else and are like, you're not taking this seriously, shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Let them do whatever they want.
I think the thing that I found over the last few years, particularly after doing like Gearfest a couple times, and doing like NAMM, and we have NAMM coming up, but just thinking about this headspace, is most of the people I think who do this side of it, the YouTube side and whatever, they have a pretty good grasp on that. Like they have a pretty good understanding of, and so like here's the example I'll give. I talked to like last year, I guess this year, well, last year when this drops, maybe. No, this year.
This is
doesn't matter.
This year.
But like just talking to different people like Hunter, Agufish, or like listening very briefly to like Steve, Samurai Guitars. Talk like these are guys who like in conversations with them or listening to them talk, like they have a lot of respect for anyone else who's doing the YouTube thing. But those are guys like, especially like Steve, who plays at a level that I'm just like, no, like I need to go watch other YouTube channels because you're so far beyond where I'm at.
It makes you sick.
That I mean, a little bit, right? But the thing is that at the same time, like he's super chill about like everyone else. Everyone's on their own journey. Everyone's on their own path. And to me, it's just weird. Like there's a lot of conversations out there that revolve around what. For example, why do you even have a YouTube channel? You're not good at guitar. That's a comment that we get a lot.
Yeah.
And it's like the question that I kind of always come back to is like, well, then why don't you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not interested in it.
Maybe it's because you're not good at video, huh?
Like, or or you're not if you're not interested in it, you're not interested in it. But like, but it's like, if it's not for you, just keep moving. It's fine. Obviously for whatever number we're at today of subscribers, like it's for them and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Here's the side point.
I think our number is about 7,000 true subscribers and about 140,000 bots.
I call those legacy subscribers. People who subscribed 9 years ago and they're still around. Here's another side tangent I want to go on. It's well known that I spend a lot of time on the subreddit Guitar Circle Jerks.
Yeah,
which is where all the goofy boys hang out, all the goofs who like to make fun of guitar culture and everything going on in the guitar world. They spend time over there, and they actually get booted out of other subreddits for being silly boys. So that's why that whole thing exists, really.
Right.
Something I've noticed over the years, because they spend a lot of time, teasing and trashing and making fun of people like us guitar YouTubers. But when I started hanging out there pretty frequently, I was like, how come they're never making fun of me? I came here because I wanted them to make fun of me. So
because you're not good.
I honestly think, and I've been paying attention. Like, oh, they take care. They make fun of this person. They make fun of that person. They make fun of that person. I think that taking yourself seriously makes you a target for ridicule. And I don't take myself seriously enough to become the target that I wish I was for ridicule.
Have you thought about taking yourself more seriously?
I don't know how. Don't know how. I don't like none of this is like
maybe some of these guitarists can teach you how to take guitar too seriously.
I just need to get really, really gatekeepy about reverb and just start commenting on everyone else's videos where they have reverb. Like, oh, that's not a very good reverb tone there, guys. Like, I just, oh, you call that a drip?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a drip. Let me tell you about drip and just write 3 paragraphs.
Total aside, what was the first reverb effect? Was it plate?
I'm pretty sure it was either canyon or cave.
Dude, I knew you were going to say that, and I wanted to get ahead of it and be like, I swear to God, if you say like, oh, they put a microphone in a cave and played an amplitude, I would just be like, oh.
It was actually, to be serious, it was actually a fluid-based reverb.
I was kind of like oil can delay, sort of was like the early version of delay.
Amniotic.
Oh, God. You did it again.
I did it again.
Oh, my God.
I thought you would beat me there. Amniotic
because
reverb.
Like inside, everything's just like...
Yeah.
But yeah,
that would be a great name for a reverb pedal. An amniotic style reverb.
I think there's
a dark, washy, ambient.
And you know, for what it's worth, like there's some people who take guitar too seriously in a way that they are trying to make it sound like it's a positive thing that they're taking it so seriously. So a common thread I've seen on the Rickenbacker reels is all these people who I could never tear apart a guitar no matter how bad it was because I respect the luthier and the instrument designer and the children in Africa that you could have sent that guitar to and all of these things. And it's just like,
I respect every single guitar as a spiritual object that has its own soul.
Yeah.
And it has its own light in the universe. And if you snuff that out, you'll be judged by 1,000 demons in the depths of Hades. Like, these are the sorts of comments that we get from people.
Yeah.
Barely even an exaggeration.
So there's like, no, the number of people who have commented that you should just like kill yourself and rot in hell.
Right. People who have insinuated that they're threatening me, but won't come out and say it no matter how many times I ask them. Like, so to be clear, you're saying that if you had the opportunity, you would do what to me?
Yeah.
And they never want to complete a threat. Complete your damn threats, please.
And it's just like, it's taking it all very seriously. It's taking the internet. You're simultaneously taking guitar very seriously and taking like the internet very seriously. Right. And I guess like you can't even say, honestly, like you can't even say that it was like on accident because who was the actor? Was it Kurt Russell that like smashed that vintage Martin? Like he did that on purpose for a movie.
He was going to smash it before he knew that it was the real vintage one.
Yeah, he thought it was a reproduction, and so whatever, right? But the reality is like
a guitar was still going to get smashed.
I feel like I didn't see that argument. Like obviously people lamented the destruction of like a vintage instrument.
Of course.
But I don't remember there being anyone who was like, well, how dare Quentin Tarantino even write a scene into a movie where a guitar got smashed? You know, obviously it had some cathartic purpose in the script, I hope. I still haven't seen that movie.
It's fun.
What movie is that? Hateful Eight?
Yeah.
I did watch Ridiculous Six with Adam Sandler. That was a pretty not good movie.
There's a version of Hateful Eight that is recut to be like a series.
Oh,
and
interesting.
I rewatched it as the series cut, and I gotta say, I feel like it kind of worked. Like I'd almost say jump into that.
like a TV show.
Yeah, like it cut it into like 30-minute segments or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah, it weirdly worked.
So I think we are in I think a lot of this is the simultaneous large scale democratization of opinions.
Wow.
No, I know.
Man.
But
you're writing a thesis here?
Yeah, but what it means is that you have these people, like, I'm sure there have always been people who take guitar seriously.
Of course.
But now, when the people who don't take guitar seriously, like yourself, but do take the business of guitar seriously by having a professional, full-time, family-supporting, like, full-time only job as a YouTuber, that part, obviously, you take pretty seriously.
Yeah.
Come in conflict with people who do take guitar seriously, and ultimately, like, I always feel like this is a cop-out to use this as like an insult, but sometimes it does come across as, are you actually angry that somebody is making goofy YouTube videos who may or may not be a better musician than you, but they're ultimately doing the thing that you wish you could be doing? Like, how much of
there probably is a jealousy element for some of these people.
How much of the people who got mad about the Rickenbackers is genuinely like, oh, I wish you could, like, because here's the thing, not a single one of the comments that I can recall, maybe there's some snuck in there. I didn't really want to talk about this, but I feel like this Guitarist Too Seriously spins off of those reels.
Sure.
Not a single comment, not a single email has come in where somebody said, in the future, if you have a guitar that you don't want, here's a list of organizations in Southern California that you might consider donating it to. Yeah. You know who just did a drive after the video came out, and it's 3 hours away for you, it's 2 hours away for me. But the world famous Repairland in Indio, California, the guy who runs that place literally just did a drive where he's like, just give me all your guitars, broken, not broken, whatever. If I can fix it to, because he's a professional luthier.
Sure.
If I can fix it, I'll fix it, and we'll just go with it. Not a single person brought that dude up, and he's got like 100,000 followers, right, I think, on YouTube. So there are like ways that people could have been positive and say, hey, I really don't like these videos in the future. Here's some organizations maybe that you should consider.
It's always just like a fictional poor child, like the poorest child that you can imagine. I've stolen food off their plate by not giving them the crappiest guitar I've ever experienced in my life.
Why did you not?
And why don't you give it to a school? Well, here's the thing. I've run into educators over the years, and I've offered to them and told them, if you ever run into a kid that is in need, let me know. It turns out schools are for profit. They already have like the way that gear comes in and out of their possession and what they have to provide to these kids. And the vast majority of kids that are taking music classes are not coming from places of extreme need.
Sure.
Their parents already have money to put them in music classes. So their parents already have money to get them gear. Like, I hate to be a bummer. But also, like, if you got, like, this did side tangent thanks to the Rickenbacker thing. If ever you run into a kid that is in extreme need of a guitar, and you know that they're not going to get it, why don't you fucking buy them one? Like, yeah, you can come to me. You can, Ryan, do you have anything? And I'll let you know honestly, like, oh, well, I have this and that, but I don't think it would be worth shipping. It would be cheaper for, someone to just buy it and ship it to you from Amazon. Because once you like, Amazon has their deals to ship things. Like, they can do 2-day shipping, and it makes sense. Like, I go to UPS or the post office, and I want to ship a guitar, and it's going to cost close to $100 every time.
Right.
So it's like the value there changes from an individual perspective. But, like, yeah, let's figure something out. If you know a kid that's got a story and absolutely needs a guitar, if you want to reach out, maybe I can help. I don't know. But also, like, don't criticize the entertainment that you see on a YouTube channel. Going like, why didn't you give that to a kid? Why didn't I give the meal that I ate this morning? I didn't need to eat 3 scrambled eggs.
Yeah, you could have eaten 2 and
I
given
gotta
one
eat-
to a kid.
I got to give one to a kid. Like what? People are criticizing the way the sausage gets made.
Right, right.
This making content is my job, and I made some steaming hot content ripping that guitar apart, and that was part of my job. And here's the reality of it: it benefited this channel to do that, and it was worth the $200 sacrifice of that guitar. We put it on the altar. We tore it apart, and the algorithm gods blessed us with a mighty harvest. So it's a cost of entertainment. It's a cost of production. Right. If you watch an action movie, some cars are going to get crashed. Yeah, there's poor kids out there that could have driven those cars around.
Here's the last thing I'll say, because again, I didn't really want to talk about this, but just to like pull the curtain back, like maybe a little further. You said that guitar cost you $200. Did it really cost $200?
After shipping, it was like $240 or something.
And you
like that.
also had to immediately had to buy a new tailpiece, right?
Yeah, I had to buy a new tailpiece. I had to get a new set of strings on it because the strings were all mangled on it.
Right, yeah, because the whole thing broke, so you had to get new strings. So here's the thing I was going to say: is
a reasonable person would have returned it
with all of those things,
and then the manufacturer would have destroyed it.
Because I've seen the numbers. With all of the
barely.
I think combined, all of the reels are probably pushing like 2 million views now. Plus the initial video.
Yeah, that's like $100.
Yeah. You like barely broke even on these. So that's one thing. It's like there's a lot of views, and we're trying to build the Instagram right now. That was like a conscious effort to do that. So that's the benefit there. But like this whole assumption that like Meta is just dumping, they can't write checks fast enough for this stuff. Not true. Not at all. No. The second thing that I'll say is you took a guitar, you made a video with it. You basically said this isn't a good guitar in the initial video, and then you made a video where you just tore it apart.
I
made more than one video.
I made 2 videos trying to save that thing, maybe even 3.
Yeah.
And I came back to the guitar over and over again in my personal time, trying to like convince myself that it was worth any effort at all, and it never was.
Yeah, and all of those things are things internal to the channel that are stay on the channel. That they're internal. They are just things that you do. They don't directly affect anybody.
No.
And I understand the idea of like, you could have given that to a kid. Sure. Maybe not that guitar, maybe different guitar, maybe really what the deal, like we floated this idea. You and I had this, pull back the curtain a little further, had the idea of like, maybe you buy 2 junk guitars, try to fix both of them up and have a kid pick one to keep and one to smash. Floated that idea. But the other part of that thing, which I'm still like kind of gross about, is the people who are like, instead of destroying a guitar to exploit for clicks, you should be exploiting children.
Yeah, exploit the children for clicks.
Like,
no, thank you.
And,
I don't want to. I have children. I don't want them. The only time my children are on camera is when they beg for it. When they beg for it, I put them on camera.
There's 4 Harley Benton pedals on the couch in there that I'm going to be shipping out soon, hopefully soon,
and soonish, maybe next year.
Yeah, and so definitely next year.
Definitely next year.
But the point being that maybe those go to kids and maybe they don't. But we actually gave away like hundreds of dollars of pedals this year,
if not more.
Probably. Legitimately, actually, with the freaking Affordaboard giveaways, we probably gave away at least $1,000 of pedals.
We give away stuff
thousands of dollars in pedals
all the time here.
Those things don't get clicks, but apparently you destroy one import guitar and people want to get all mad about it.
I know. I
clearly took this way too seriously.
I want to back up a little bit. You were saying that we barely broke even on the cost of the guitar. That was not my intended.
No, I know it
investment in the content is to try to get the money out of doing it, because like whatever. But the payoff, like you can look at those shorts, the Instagrams and the Facebook Reels and stuff like
reach.
that, and the comments are predominantly negative. And if you look at that, you might think, oh man, this is embarrassing. These guys should have deleted this. Everyone hates them. What you don't understand is that those are just the commenters.
Right.
Thousands upon thousands of people have subscribed off of those videos. People who didn't comment but enjoyed it and probably want to see more. That's the reality of it. So yeah, there's hundreds of people complaining, calling me a bastard because I snuffed the soul out of a guitar that they believe would have been just as good as any other guitar.
Tom Petty.
Tom
Petty could have written a hit on that guitar.
Here's the business reality. It fucking worked. And what does that say about society? What does it say about the future of what I'm going to do, what I'm tempted to do? Maybe if you don't want me to do that again in the future, if that really upset you, watch my other videos. So I think, oh, this video really worked. I don't have to smash this guitar. This video worked well enough on its own. So anyways, stop taking everything so seriously. None of this matters. It's for fun. Have fun with your guitars. Have fun making music. If you're not having fun, what's even the point? Go learn to crunch spreadsheets and get a job doing that.
Yeah. There's unless again, like I
This is too long of a topic.
I know,
for
coming
what it
full
is.
circle. Unless you're
This was supposed to be the short one.
Unless you're trying to go professional or something, like you don't really need to take this any more seriously than you need to. And you don't need to turn guitar into a sport.
No,
it's not
there's no score. There's no
Yeah.
goal. There's no best team. There's no best guitar. There's no worst guitar. There's no best guitarist. There's no worst guitarist. There's people having fun or not having fun.
I've played a lot of adult rec sports. The worst person in adult rec sports is the person who's not as good as they think they are, but they take the game more seriously than anybody else who's playing.
You know what it's...
And I've been that person, so
Yeah, yeah.
I know how much of a douchebag that person is because that person was me.
You know exactly how often it is we get some comment from someone criticizing anything that we've done, and we click on their account and they see what they do, and we're like, ooh,
Yeah.
you don't, you're glass houses here. Like, we're not going to defend our guitar skills on this channel. We are what we are. But yeah, be aware of your own glass houses, guys. We're not going to, make examples out of you. But
I tried to make a backing track the other day.
I'll just say the people who are really good at guitar are never the ones who are in the comments trashing on us.
I tried to make some background music the other day. Just to like use, because I really like how Emily at Get Offset has like her own music in the background when she does like essays and stuff.
Sure.
So I was trying to do something like that. And I spent like 45 minutes doing it. And then I was like, nah,
Never mind.
I'm just going to have silence in my gaps.
Maybe
someday.
YouTube Studio provides you with...
I didn't want to use
You could
like
use
stock
Stanley
music.
Sharkey.
Yeah. Which one's that?
It's the time lapse music I
Is
use.
that the burp, burp, burp,
Yeah, it's the
burp?
slide bass.
Dude, I had that on, somebody commented on the video when I put up my string swings. Somebody commented on that video from like 2.5 years ago. I hate this music. And I was like, well, it's stock audio. It's not mine. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Whoever composed that is looking at all the times that it gets used and is like, why is this song getting used so much? If you're out there and you watch this channel now for some reason, I'm sorry.
Send us another track so we can play it at the end of the podcast. Ryan, if you want to get better at guitar,
Here we go.
Here's the thing. Maybe you do need to take guitar just serious enough to head on over to truefire.com. Actually, Ryan, you shouldn't head over to truefire.com. You should head down to the description of this video and click the TrueFire link. That way they know we sent you.
Tracking link. So we can follow you.
TrueFire is a music lessons platform, not just guitar, also bass and other stringed instruments. So go check them out. They've got like over 10,000 video lessons.
You say over 10,000 when the reality is tens of thousands.
Yeah, over 20,000 then. That's tens of thousands.
I think it's more. It's so much. Prove me wrong. Go over there and check. Count the videos, and then come back to this video and tell us how many videos you counted.
I hate to tell you this, Ryan, but over 20,000 and more than 20,000 are the same number.
I know. I'm just asking for a specific number.
All right. Well, folks, go check them out. And thank you, TrueFire, for sponsoring this episode. This next guitar ad, because I don't actually know if it's a guitar. I just know it's an ad, and it's called Framus.
It is a guitar.
Matt Carnevale, and it is a guitar.
It's a vintage Framus.
It's a rare, very late 1960s Framus that was never officially listed in the Framus catalogs and doesn't have any official model name. So it's only in the official Framus vintage book. It's all original, but the pot knobs, very low action, straight neck, fully working straight neck. Let's say it's good. Straight
How
neck.
many straight necks does it have?
Original jumbo frets, 5 out of 10 got leveled. A bunch of other random descriptions that serve no purpose. This is a Les Paul. That's why it never got produced, because they didn't want to get sued. No, I don't know.
Pardon my ignorance, but I feel like we don't get a lot of Framuses in the States. I can't remember ever seeing any others. So I'm not familiar with, especially the vintage ones. I'm not familiar with so many of the details here. I don't know what's normal and unusual here, but I like a lot of this. This is a very attractive guitar.
Yeah.
I always love a German carve. That string trapeze situation where the end piece that the strings go into, I've never seen one like that. It's beautiful. Oh. This like low poly, mid-century, like folded metal situation.
Yeah, and
it's really cool.
That piece underneath is very like mastery, descendant-y kind of walk in there.
And you can look, if you look at it, you can tell that if you wanted to, you could string this thing 12 string if it had the tuners for it. That trapeze, that string tail piece there.
Thank God it doesn't.
I think it's very attractive, very clever. I'd almost want to be able to buy something like that as an aftermarket part for some other guitar.
I want to know what these pickups sound like.
I want to know what the pickups sound like too. They're probably very P90-ish.
Yeah.
But it's clearly like unique hardware. The bridge is like some sort of almost like jazz mastery, like Gretschy sort of hybrid situation. They look like roller saddles possibly.
It could be.
The big like nut on the switch.
Oh, I love the way impressive. I love the way that everything about that switch looks.
I wonder if those are the original knobs.
They said that was not the original knobs.
Yeah, because they don't look like they really belong here. Yeah. I bet they had some sort of like knurled brass.
All right, here's the thing I don't understand.
And that wood is beautiful. Like some sort of like
This is $733.63.
It looks like a beautiful iridescent piece of mahogany as the wood.
$82 to ship from Germany. Ryan, you should buy this.
I don't need that. Okay, well, let's get into my criticisms now. I did that last episode. I can't do that every episode, Steve. I still have to unbox that pedal that I bought last episode. But I don't love how dead the frets are.
Ryan,
they're so flat.
When you buy the guitar, like you bought that pedal and you unbox it and make a video or you talk about it on the podcast, now it's free. That's how tax write-offs work, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's you write it off.
Yeah.
You just write it off and then it's free, right?
Yeah.
I love the weird headstock. Like, it's so cool. Like, so many parts of this are so cool. That's like such a unique
headstock looks
six
like
line.
The headstock looks like the National Forest logo.
Totally.
Like when you drive, like you are now entering Cleveland National Forest.
Welcome to Toyobi National Forest. It's a bolt-on, which I'm totally fine with. Looks like a really slim, small body, which I like. But yeah, the frets are my big bummer on here. They look like they've been like leveled to the point of barely being there.
They're pretty. I mean, it might, maybe it'll just be a fast player. I cannot get past the control cavity covers on the back.
It goes all the way across. Apparently, they didn't invent long drill bits yet.
Yeah.
But also, like, you have to admit, if you're working on this guitar, that would be more convenient.
It would be, well, kind of, because if you only need to work on the two pots and the jack, you still have to take the whole thing off.
If you just need to tighten the jack, it's like, I got to take this whole thing off. Ridiculous.
I mean, imagine you're like, oh, I need to take this jack off, and then you flip this thing over and you're like, all right, well, here we go.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to be unscrewing screws all day.
I'm going to have to play around with this thing just to do this jack off.
All right, okay.
I made the joke because this thing on the back kind of looks like a dong and balls.
Wrong one. There we go.
Thank you.
I need to remove this. I need to remaster it to be quieter.
Yeah.
That button there is way too loud. Jeez, no one even remembers what that's for.
It's an ad.
I know.
An ad. One of our listeners sent that in. Overall, I think this is a really fun guitar.
What do you think?
I'd like to play it.
Me too. What do you think of the neck material?
Oh, it looks like that stuff from Temu.
It's like billion ply neck.
No,
wood.
I think it looks really cool. I'm just kind of surprised it hasn't actually fallen apart more than it has.
Well, that glue is stronger than the wood. It's never going to fall apart is the thing.
It could just start to delam.
It is like, I like that though. That's like very mid-century. And you know, when they did that, it was probably like, oh, here's a futuristic material. This will be stronger than any other neck because it's a composite. It's thousands of layers of wood joined together with only the most modern of adhesives.
Right. So that style is called mid-century modern, but is there a style called like mid-century history or like mid-century future?
Well, there's postmodern.
Yeah, but it's not mid-century postmodern.
You might be able to find something that fits that description, I suppose.
Do you have anything else to say about this?
I don't. It's one of those ones that looks cool. And I was like, oh, I like looking at this. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I think a big deciding factor for me is just going back to the early days and being like, is this something Steve and I would have chatted about on AOL Instant Messenger while we sat at our desk jobs? And this is definitely something that we would have chatted about.
This is a lot of fun. And again, like $800 is a pretty damn good price.
Bad. Like, I don't know if that's normal for this sort of thing, but it's like, that's a 1960s guitar. That's squarely vintage.
Yeah.
If you were in love with it, a refret's not that expensive.
A refret's like for that's going to be like at least 400.
I mean, it's an investment. If you love the rest of it, you know, that's Squire money. I know it's just for the frets, but still, it's like if you want to preserve and continue playing, and enjoy playing a vintage guitar, I feel like that's a good candidate for a refret. If you can't get along with those super flat frets, that's my take, anyways.
Well, some of these folks can probably get along with super flat frets and some of them can't. And of course, I'm talking about the folks who support us over at Patreon.
I felt that one coming.
Patreon, of course, is where you can support the production of the show and the production of things that happen on this channel, like the reels that we've been getting posted by our reel producer, full part-time producer, assistant producer.
We compensate him.
What kind of producer is RJ?
A producer of shorts?
Yes.
Our short producer.
Well, he's shorter than us, at least.
Let's call him our short king.
He's like 5'10".
You know, he's not short at all, but it's a fun thing to call him. Short King RJ over there.
Oh, my gosh.
Feel free to clip this RJ. He really wants me to make him an editing RJ graphic.
Oh, yeah.
I need to make you an editing
Well, he
Steve
wants to make like a full animated version, like full animated video of us.
Oh my gosh.
Like that's the ultimate dream. Just turn 60 Cycle Hum into a cartoon.
It's already too much work as it is to just be here and film ourselves. I'm not going to animate all this. But yeah, we compensate him. Yeah, he's doing labor that neither of us have time to do, and it is enriching the channel. And that comes out of the Patreon. So Patreons, you are supporting someone else's labor right now. There is someone else involved in the channel right now. And you're making that possible. So huge thanks to the Patrons. We actually, we invite him to join us for dinners on podcasting nights because he lives close by. And so he had burritos with us tonight. Yeah. He breaks bread, and the Patrons cover that cost as well.
So here's a list of the folks who have joined us recently at the $1 level. Ian Downer and Jerry Waldron, or is it Gary Waldron? I never know how to pronounce it.
I'm glad it wasn't Gary Upper, because you're not supposed to mix uppers and downers.
Oh, I see the joke.
It's a drug joke about drugs.
At the $5 level, Nahira Varaka.
You did a good job,
Varaka?
Steve.
I don't know. Owen Ziegler, and at the $10 level, Joshua Lucas. So thanks, y'all. Thanks. Oh, usually on the year-end episode, I read the list of everyone's names, but I'm not going to do that this year.
You've got a different list this year.
Maybe it just, I can't do it at the first episode of next year because we're recording that tonight too.
Yeah.
But maybe sometime soon we'll do that again.
Sure. Just
to get everyone in. So yeah, thanks everyone. Ryan, do we want to open this mail? Let's open this mail.
Open the mail, Steve.
Open the mail. We got a letter here. It looks like a Christmas card maybe from Robert Felch. Thank you, Robert.
Crack it open.
For sending this to us. Let's see what it is.
If you want to send us anything at all, as long as it's safe and legal, the address is up above.
Oh, we got a Santa card.
Santa Claus.
Thanks. Says draw guitar pedals, surfboard on Santa. I can't draw. Santa's got some nursing clogs over here too. Ryan and Steve at 60 Cycle Hum believe in the joy and wonder of Christmas time. Best channel. All the best to you and your families. Rob F. Thanks, Rob F.
Thank
He's
you, Rob.
At Rob F. On YouTube as well. Oh, Rob F. He's in our premieres all the time.
Oh, good.
Thanks,
yeah.
Rob F.
Hey, Rob. This is I don't know where it came from. Maybe there will be a note inside.
It came from Compton.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's not a CD. That's not a CD, is it?
It's a DVD.
What
The
is
final
this?
program starring John Finch, Jenny Runacree, Sterling Hayden, Harry Andrews, Hugh Griffith. Designed, written, and directed by Robert Fust. I don't know what this is. It's the British film. Looks like some sort of old spy movie.
I bet.
Okay, I'll read.
Sure.
In a far-off future, all right. Mankind is in a state of decay, but a group of scientists believe they have found the means to move humanity to its next level in the creation of an ideal, self-replicating, and thus immortal human being. Jerry Cornelius, Nobel Prize-winning physicist and Playboy adventurer, is vital to the project's success. His recently deceased father devised the formula of this final program. However, the formula is captured by a microfilm hidden in the vaults of the family mansion and jealously guarded by Jerry's drug-addicted psychopathic brother, Frank. So it sounds like it's going to be a drama of people fighting over this immortality recipe in a mansion or something like that. It's that kind of movie. All right. And it looks like there's a monkey man of some sort in here and a laser gun maybe. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch this. I'm going to buy a disk drive. I'm going to use Patreon funds to buy some sort of disk drive for my computer so I can finally start listening to the CDs and watching the DVDs that you guys are sending to me.
Ryan, this last ad was sent by
Michael Love It or Leave It.
This is a Gudkov Bigfoot guitar, another Bigfoot Gudkov guitar, one of a kind, red oak and poplar, free life warranty, handcrafted in West Union, South Carolina. Bigfoot Gudkov guitars. Their logo, it looks like it's written with a ballpoint pen on the headstock.
Yeah.
That's a different look.
I don't hate it. So
ultimate German carve.
Yeah, this is a pretty intense German carve on this thing. So for those that don't know, the reason this was sent to us is because this is my Bigfoot. I in a previous professional life, I was an illustrator, and I made clip art basically that I submitted to a website called iStock. It's owned by Getty Images. And I made this silhouette of a Bigfoot, and it somehow has become the default Bigfoot icon. And I see it everywhere all the time. Like, it's probably the thing that I actually am most famous for, even though no one knows who made it. It's me. I'm the one who made it. And it turns up everywhere. And now it's actually two guitars because he sent two different guitars.
Oh, okay.
You'll see it later on in the folder here.
Both from Gudkov, though.
Both from the same builder, both with the same Bigfoot silhouette. One, the Bigfoot is reversed.
Yeah.
There it is. There he is. There's my boy. There's my Bigfoot. I feel like I'm too close to this to judge whether or not this is good or not, though. So, Steve, it'll be on you. You tell us whether or not you think this is good.
Okay, so the one that there's not a lot of pictures of, I think that one kind of, I mean, it doesn't work. They don't work. It doesn't work as a guitar shape.
No matter how you're holding it, Bigfoot is laying face down or face up. Like,
yeah, but the one that's sent in as the main ab is like a big old chunky backdrop of poplar with the body on top, and that's your red oak.
Yeah.
And I just hate so much about that. like the idea of holding a guitar and the artwork also has a backdrop to it.
I know.
That's like, it's just so odd. But the craftsmanship seems like it's there.
I don't know, that backing piece of wood on that first one, it could be cut a lot cleaner.
The backing piece could be a lot cleaner. I look at that backing piece and I think, like, well, why didn't you just do like a double thickness?
What I want to know,
here?
My big question is, what's going on with the back of the headstock? There's a second piece of wood screwed onto the back of the headstock. Did he make the headstock too thin and he needed to thicken it up to get the tuners to fit right? Like, I don't understand what that's there for.
That's kind of what it looks like. I don't know if that's a thing. Maybe it's a thin enough piece that, like,
because like from the front, the tuners look normal.
Yeah.
So I really wonder if, like, what happened there. Is that like an oops, I screwed up, I need to thicken this thing up? Also, okay, it's hard to tell from this picture. What's missing from the headstock, Steve? Right about there.
Yeah, they moved the nut.
They moved the nut, which tells me that the bridge was in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And but wouldn't they have to move all the frets too? Like,
no, there's definitely something
wonky happened.
Weird happening with that. There's definitely a lot of questions as to the actual quality of this build.
Oh, sure. No, totally.
To be kind,
Right. They only want $195 for it. So this is, this is a certified wall hanger. This is for your man cave or your Bigfoot cave.
I mean, it's
for your Yeti yurt.
It didn't have this big cutout here where the neck goes. Like, if this could, like, if you had a way to make this almost where it could, like, stand on its own, I feel like the cutout itself with the poplar backing, even if it didn't change, I could see this getting listed as like an arts and crafts, like local kitsch art kind of a thing for like $150.
Just to be like,
being like, okay, cool. Yeah. Like
a decorative piece.
If you went to like Julian or Idlewild or something and you saw this in like one of those like weird curio shops, again, 100, 125, $150.
This could have been a charcuterie board.
This could have been a charcuterie. Nah. It would need to be bigger.
It'd be like when you go to those sushi places where there's just sushi all over a naked lady, only it'd be all over a Bigfoot. Instead of sushi, you never go to those places, Steve?
I've never been to one of those places.
Either have I. I think it's just something made up for TV and movies.
In fact, it feels oddly both sexist and racist.
And unhygienic.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I mean, sushi is already...
Just stop.
I'm just saying, I'm not going to eat gas station sushi. I don't want to eat sushi off of someone's body.
I
want it on a clean plate, please.
I get my sushi from Stater Bros. It's pretty good sushi.
Stater Bros.
Stater Bros. Ryan, we got to pick our favorite ad from this episode.
Oh, man.
I think it's
travel guitar.
My gut is travel guitar.
We don't even need to spin. Congratulations, Ian. I don't recognize your name. This might be the first time you've won. It might be the first time you've had an ad on the show. If you have been on the show a bunch, I'm sorry that I didn't remember your name.
Well,
but you're not named Joey Krause or one of our mini Michaels.
What I can tell you, Ryan.
Oh, Steve has the list.
Is that Ian has not won 3 times, not including tonight, because I went through and compiled the full list of winners. But I only compiled the list, I only pulled out the ones that have won 3 times or more.
Here it is, our end of the year wrap up of who's won the most. This is
all time. So the 2 years we've been doing.
I think we've only been doing it a year.
No, maybe.
I'm wrong.
I don't remember when we started it.
All right,
let's see. Let's go back and.
Come on, let's finish the show.
But at the 3-time winners, the 3-time winner club, Brian Brooks and John Fleming.
All right.
Lucas Servi and Mark DeBrune at the 4-time winner level. At the 6-time winner level, Joey Scar and Matt Carnivale.
Tied.
And standing alone at the top. This came back as 7, but I thought he was 8, but I used Excel. So I don't know. Is Dave Santander alone. King of the Adventurer Mountain.
Can he be dethroned?
Well, he stopped sending in ads, so I think there's a good chance.
$175 is what we've paid him. Is what we've rewarded him with digital gift certificates printed on heavy virtual card stock.
We started joking with him a while, around the time that he, took a step back and was like, "I'm going to slow down sending in ads."
He slowed down and was still beat everyone.
And I don't think he sent in an ad since July or August.
Ridiculous.
But we were joking back and forth in the emails for a while that like every time he won, he's like, are you guys going to send me a 1099 at the end of the year?
Thankfully, it didn't go that far.
Yeah.
Everyone's welcome to send us listings from their local Craigslist, OfferUp, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Reverb, Sweetwater's, what is it called? I feel bad now.
Gear Exchange.
It was on the tip of my tongue. Gumtree, Goodwill,
Kijiji. Case. What's the one? KSL? In Salt Lake City.
Wherever you find used, wonderful, weird, awful, noteworthy instruments on the internet, send them to us, email them to us, and if we pick it and it wins best of show, but best of episode, you're going to get $25. That's what we do around here. All right, Steve, tell us about the song.
The song was sent by Rachel Hoots. She says, heard you were looking for more songs. We're always looking for more songs. We can always just leave them in the queue.
Every single song that's sent to us.
I will say I did drop a couple songs out of the queue because I looked at them and they were only Bandcamp links. So please attach a file.
Send the files.
Because I'll just drop it now.
Yeah.
Off of the queue.
Don't try to trick us into buying your track. Just send it.
I don't think it's people tricking. I think it's people who don't understand the production process on the back end.
Right.
Heard you were looking for more songs. Here's a track from the album I released in July. It's called The Katocaster, which is the name of the Squire Telly that's featured in the song. Or is it the Katocaster? It's probably Katocaster. It's a tribute to cheap beginner guitars everywhere, and it was written in the style of the music I played on this guitar in my high school jazz band. Hope you enjoy.
That might be a first. I don't think we've ever gotten like a jazz ensemble style recording like that sent to us before.
Yeah, I really like that.
Full band, flute, saxophone.
So you want to hear a
Man,
trick?
that was fun.
And I'm not saying that that's what was happening here. But when I was in high school, we had a program called a class called Music Tech.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the band programs, so marching band, jazz. There was marching band, jazz band, and there was Music Tech. Music Tech was very much like a Mannheim steamroller operation.
All right.
Where sometimes you would see Music Tech. They usually like to do a lot of performances around Christmas and stuff in public, or they perform at other schools. A lot of like jazzier stuff. I bought their album when I was in high school. They produced an album.
Mm-hmm.
But when they would do their Christmas stuff, they were one of these bands that had like 6 keyboard players because they wouldn't always have a brass section. So each keyboard would play like different brass parts. And so they would and it would sound, kind of like,
Sure.
I'm not saying that that's what this is,
but it reminded you.
It reminded me of that kind of like, and like Rachel said, it's like, this is trying to replicate that high school jazz band feel, and that success in that department. Absolutely.
I liked it. It put me in a very good mood. So thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Stay grounded.